How's it going, everybody? Rybrad here today, and we are back with our Vancouver Canucks franchise mode, and message received loud and clear, guys. On the last video, you guys did not like anything I did. A lot of you were displeased that I didn't go the route of realistic and went the route of, if it's in the game, I'm going to abuse it. So I received that message, and I appreciate you guys sharing it with me. So if you guys will let me, I'm going to start from square one, and we'll try and go for a more realistic rebuild for you guys here with the Vancouver Canucks. So I'm going to leave the video up there, so if you guys didn't already see it, you can go ahead and see what happened. But this one, we're just going to start brand new. Hope you guys don't mind, but it's still the Vancouver Canucks. Everything is about the same. I'm not going to make the same trades or the signings that I made, so let's go. I'm going to still trade away the Sedins. I do think that is what would get us started as far as a rebuild is concerned. Trading both Henrik and Daniel to the same team, but I want to make sure it's a team that they're going to want to go to, a team that can take them. And a team that would make sense, a team that's a serious contender. Now, I know Boston is listed as a contender, but I'm thinking they want to go to a champion team, not necessarily, well, wow, the Blackhawks are only listed as a contender. That's pretty interesting. But some teams that are, like the Edmonton Oilers here, they have a possibility, because I know we're going to have to retain half of one of their salaries, and we can only retain more of one person's salary. But like a team like the Edmonton Oilers here, I don't know what I'd be getting from them, but I could tell you that if they got Henrik and Daniel Sedin on their team, they would certainly be listed as champions. We'll keep scrolling here, like the LA Kings listed as a champion, although they're within the division, so I don't want them to have a chance to re-sign. I mean, there's the Montreal Canadiens here. We could trade him to them too as a champion. Some of these teams are listed as hopefuls that I mean Pittsburgh, but they got way too much of a salary cap issue. Even with the 3.5 retained, they'd be taking on an extra 10 point whatever. I'm going to say, yeah, it's 10.5 million that they're going to be taking on, so they're not even close to the salary cap. But the San Jose Sharks, I don't think they're the real contender. I mean, the Lightning, I think one of the trade partners would be in that middle there. I guess the Winnipeg Jets are listed as champions, although I don't agree with that. The Capitals have way too much cap. But yeah, guys, we are going to go for a more realistic rebuild. I'm not going to just dump them, both Sedins, off to like the Carolina Hurricanes for their first or whatever, or some top prospect or Noah Hannafin or whatever like that. So I will go ahead and find you guys a trade for the Sedins, and I hope you guys will like it. I'm thinking about the Oilers maybe, or the Canadiens, or one of these teams in the middle, maybe. The Wild are probably too high. So I was going to look at the Oilers and the Canadiens because they want both Sedins, and I'm going to want to look at what they want to give up. Now, they have Yamamoto here on the trade block, so that's not necessarily a bad swap because he's a good young forward prospect. But, guys, I will go ahead and find a realistic trade for you guys, and I will be right back. Alright guys, so I think this one is going to work. I haven't tried it yet, obviously, because that would make it go through. But we are going to be giving up both Sedins, and we are going to get Lehkonen, Arturi Lehkonen, a sniper, a prospect, 22 years of age, medium top 6. He's already a 78, which he's got a good chance of growing. He's a good winger, and I think we need some winger depth as well. We are going to get the Chicago Blackhawks second-round pick in return as well. They do want to give both of these up, and the reason I didn't go with the, I believe it was, I forgot who it was. I think it was Yamamoto or something like that. Here, I can check it real quick with the Oilers. Yeah, Yamamoto. He's their first-round pick this year. They're probably not going to give him up right before the season. They probably wouldn't trade him away. So that's what I was thinking. But I'm going to take the Blackhawks pick here and go to skaters matching the block here, and I'm going to take Lehkonen. They do have him in the NHL, but he's probably a bottom forward. He's got a pretty decent salary. 2 years left at 8.4. Again, he's got some pretty good individual stats. Like his shooting category is already 4 stars. His discipline's already at 85 and a poise of discipline's at a 95, excuse me, and an poise at 80, offensive awareness at 83, passing at 85. Not very good defensively, but I don't really expect a 22-year-old sniper to be good defensively, but there we go, guys. I do think this trade makes kind of sense. They're giving up a prospect and a pick. I mean, a prospect they drafted in 2013, and I think it was the second or third round. Yeah, second-round prospect from 2013, and a upcoming pick, because they have 3 second-round picks, boys. And they'll be getting 2 bona fide players that'll help them out this season and help them become even more of a champion, maybe win Carey Price a Stanley Cup, and that is the trade that is going to be accepted. I'm going to go ahead and go to roster moves really quickly. Everything looks all set. We'll hit best lines. We are under the salary cap here, so we aren't going to trade anybody away that has a ridiculous salary. Instead, we are going to go to the Toronto Maple Leafs here, guys. We are going to go after I believe Joffrey Lupul. I think he's on LTIR. But I need some salary back. I mean, he's not really playing for the Leafs. I don't know what the heck is going on with his situation over there. But I am going to snag him. I think I have a player who they might want. And it is Tanev. Let's see here. They want Hutton, Goodbranson, Weirkoch, excuse me, I say that every time. Delzato, they want him. So, I mean, I'm not really looking to trade that contract away because I do need some cap. I mean, I even retained half of the salary cap of Henrik Sedin, and we're still 17.6 million under the cap. So, I mean, we're not going to trade away Dahlin. I mean, Tanev, maybe. I was thinking about trading away Tanev just because I don't really think he fits the timeline here. That's $4.5 million we're trading away, though, guys. So, I don't know. There is a little bit of a cap situation here. We are... if I'll go ahead and show it to you guys, I think we do have a slight issue as far as cap is concerned. If we go ahead and go to roster moves, if I try and make a roster moves, I don't think it's going to work. So let me see here. I'll just send down Dorsett. Yeah, I'll just send him down. Will that go through? And no, we will be under the salary cap there, guys. Let's see here. Our salary cap situation is at 51.685. And I believe we need to get to 55 million. So I kind of want to go ahead and sign a free agent. Not somebody that's going to have a ridiculous contract, but, you know, maybe a guy like Jágr and then Despres, however you say his name. We could sign both of them like we did before, and that would get us up to the cap floor. I'm almost positive it would. And then we can start making some moves after that. But Jágr, we'll go ahead and offer him. I'm going to give him a little bit more than what he wants. I'll give him 3. That's not too egregious. He only wants 2.675, but I want to make sure I do get him. And then we'll also sign Despres for $2.5 million. I also want to make sure I get him. So that is $5.5 million. That should put us in the clear as far as being able to move players and salary cap issue here, guys. Let's go ahead and advance the day. Yeah, 55.4 million, and we were at, I think we were at 51 million or something like that, as far as NHL salary cap. And now I'll go ahead and do the scouting assignment, guys. Like you've seen, I do like to go only for 1 month, and I really do like the changes they've made to scouting, because now you can see every player. But yeah, as far as the lines are concerned, guys, we still have Vanek, Horvat, Bergsi. We're going to keep Louis Eriksson. I know his contract is absolutely brutal, $6 million for 5 years. Hopefully he can have a good season, and maybe somebody at the draft is going to want to flip him for like a 4th to give him a shot. But that's only if he has a good season, guys. So we're really banking on him doing well this season. So there we go. We got Granlund and Besser here as well. And then Arturi Lehkonen is playing. We got Brendan Gaunce, Ryan White, and Derek Dorsett, Sutter, and Gagne. So it's not a terrible team. But I don't think we're going to be a great team. The signing of Jágr is going to help us. And then as far as defense is concerned, Edler is a guy that I think can be a top 4 defenseman for a different team. That's why I was thinking maybe the Maple Leafs, but they don't seem to want him. And besides, with the whole salary cap issue, trading away $5 million is not, you know, a very good idea. As Christopher Tanev, I don't know if I want to keep him or not. Michael Delzato here, $3 million for 2 years. I mean, he's a decent top 6 two-way defender, so I might be able to flip him. And then in the AHL here, guys, we have Stetcher, who I do want to get up here and play. So we will have to maybe send Weirkoch somewhere for like maybe a later round pick, because he can help out a team more than he can help us out, because he's just basically taking up a roster spot that I don't want to go ahead and have him take up, you know. So let's go ahead here, advance the day, see if Jágr and Despres are going to go ahead and accept it. Jágr accepted and Despres rejected, but our roster is freaking full. I hate that, guys. They're in such a terrible salary cap situation that, you know, with the $14 million that I got rid of, or well, I guess it's only $10.5 million I got rid of because I retained the salary of Henrik to make it a better trade for them and to help us. That really puts us behind the 8 ball as far as salary is concerned. I don't want to go ahead and sign somebody for a really unrealistic contract. But let's go ahead and edit the lines here, see if we can get... wait, I think I might be able to call Jágr up, unless, yeah, he's not already up on the roster. He's down there in the AHL. So we'll go to roster moves here, guys, because I do want to play our prospects, but we don't have enough salary tied up as to where we'll be above the cap floor. His $3 million can come up, and now we are very, very close to the cap floor, guys. which is what I want. So we just basically need to get a little bit more salary in return than what we give away. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out a trade. I think the guy I might want to get rid of is Edler, because he's making $5 million for 2 years. I can't retain his salary. Maybe I'll get rid of Del Zotto, so we can call up Stetcher. But Hutton and Tanev, I mean, Tanev is a guy, it's tough because of the salary cap issue, guys. He may have to be a guy we trade away next year or at the draft based on what we can do in free agency. But, like, good Branson here, making $3.5 million. I can keep him on the roster. That's fine. Edler, Tanev. Hutton's only making 2.8, so that's good contract. But the Edler and Tanev contracts are not very good. And as much as I'd like to get them off the books, we do need that salary to stay above the cap floor, and I know I keep saying that because that was a huge issue in the last video we did, so I had to try and sign guys like Gian to $9 million, and that's just not really realistic. So let's go ahead here. There's one more trade I do want to make. I do want to get rid of one more player, and that would be, I think, Edler. I mean, he's making $5 million. We do need to take a little bit more salary in return, so then $5 million, so maybe we could take somebody older, as well as a prospect or a pick, because if somebody like Anaheim wants him, maybe we'll take somebody who's on a very, very bad contract, a bad expiring contract, like Bieksa here. He only has $4 million for 1 year. That's not bad at all. And then we can take Vermette off their hands as well. We would have more than 45 skaters in the organization, so we'll go ahead and hopefully get a pick back from like a third-round pick back from the Anaheim Ducks here, and we'll go ahead and give up another player that they want, not just dumping off random players onto them. So let's go ahead and scroll down a little bit. Somebody else that they want is Del Zotto, but I don't want to give up that contract like I've been saying, Weirkoch. I might give them Weirkoch as well. They do want Weirkoch and Edler. I'll take Bieksa back in his contract, Vermette's contract, and get a third from the deal as well. So Bieksa is not going to be anybody that really pushes us over the edge. He's just another top 6 defenseman, so he's basically a replacement for Weirkoch. And then Edler for Vermette in a third, I guess is how you could look at it. Vermette's just a solid third-line checking forward. That's going to help us out here. We'll try and get a third-round pick. I think that'll be fine. They're a contender, so... And there we go. They have accepted the trade there, guys, and I think that puts us enough above the cap floor to be able to make some roster moves. So I'll go ahead and go check out what the roster's looking like right now. And we'll go to the edit lines and maybe roster moves so that we can call up the players that we want on the roster and send down the players we don't want on the roster. So, as far as players that we don't want on the roster, probably Biega, because I think, actually, Dorsett doesn't really, he's got no room to grow. So Biega probably send down. Reed Boucher still got room to grow. Besser is, yeah, he's going to grow, but I'm going to keep up Gaunce and Dorsett. In the system now, we have Stetcher and Burmistrov. I think Burmistrov, I want to call him up here. He's got medium top 9 potential, so maybe a solid year in the NHL, and we could see some pretty decent growth. But other than that, actually, Jake Virtanen here is listed as a 4th-line forward, so instead of Burmistrov, I'll call up Virtanen and send down, we got to send some more players down if we're going to do that. Maybe Dorsett, he's listed as a 4th-line forward. Boucher, no thanks. Ryan White listed as a 4th-line forward. Lekanen here, I'm going to play him because he's got some potential. We'll go ahead and send down Dorsett. Actually, he's making a decent amount of money. I can't do that. So let me go ahead and send down White, and there we go. So that is going to work, guys. We are just above the cap floor. The cap floor, I think, is 54 or 50. I think it's like 55.4 or something along those lines. But yeah, we've got enough players on the roster now. Let's go ahead and hit best lines and see what kind of lineup we're going to start with. And is Gaunce not starting? Okay. Some guy, Sam Gagne here, he's making, what, 3.15? Okay. Sutter, yeah, making holy crap, Sutter is making a ton of money, and that is a terrible, terrible contract. But again, I can't get rid of anything because I did trade away the Sedins, and that does eat up most of our cap space. But Stetcher and Bieksa, Hutton and Tanev, Del Zotto, Goodbranson, Bieksa, Stetcher. Now, I'm not going to be able to give up all the players I want to give up, and as far as scratched players, Gaunce and Boucher are both scratched, and I don't want those guys scratched. I'd rather scratch a guy like Dorsett. So we'll scratch him in favor of Gaunce here. I want to play Gaunce because he's actually... Okay, yeah. If you guys, okay, I was not freaking out there. They did not change his stats. I was like, he didn't move. I'm thinking of the wrong guy. But no, Gaunt's high bottom six potential, 23 years of age. He could still grow maybe to the 80s for us. That's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, this team isn't terrible, guys. We do have some decent center depth. But again, I do want to do like an express rebuild, and I'm trying to make it as realistic as possible for you guys. As far as scratched, Boucher is also scratched. That means we'd have to scratch a guy like Virtanen or Sutter. I don't know if I really want to scratch Sutter because he's a decent player. Maybe sending down Boucher would be... He's listed as a depth forward. High top 9, though. Man, I might have to make another trade to acquire some salary. Maybe I'll give up like a 5th for Lupul and just keep Lupul scratched. I just need contracts at this point, guys. We'll hit best lines down there in the AHL. Why not? Or maybe there's another fourth line, a depth forward that I could sign in free agency who wants a decent amount of money. Let's go ahead and check that out. Actually, I want to find a depth forward who wants like maybe $1 or $2 million. It doesn't look like that's going to happen though, guys. There's some fourth line forwards here, but they don't want any kind of money. Yeah, they're all going to want two-way contracts for very, very cheap. The most expensive guy is Hoodler here, but I don't want him on the roster because he's going to take up a roster spot from one of the younger guys, which is not what I want. What I was hoping for is to see like an other forward, but he needs a rookie contract, I think that is. Yeah, he wants a full-time rookie contract. So the next highest guy, yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to happen, guys. I maybe could sign a backup for a decent amount of money, but no, that's not going to happen either. I don't know what to do about Boucher there, though, guys. I apologize that it seems like, well, it doesn't sound like I know what I'm doing, because I don't know what to do with Boucher. Do I send him down and let him play in the AHL? Because we really don't have room for him up here, unless somebody gets injured, but I don't want to keep him scratched all season, because he's a 24-year-old. I don't want to scratch Sutter either, or Gagne. Or Besser, or Lehkonen, or Virtanen, or Gauntz. So maybe I can go ahead and trade some... I mean, Vermette's still on the roster. He's getting paid, so I need to keep him. Man, this whole trading away the Sedins thing looked a lot better in my head before I actually looked at the cap situation. But yeah, as far as players down in the AHL making money, nobody's really making money down in the AHL. So there's nobody I can call up that is gonna help us with our current cap situation, just to sit on the bench. And I'm not calling Thatcher Demko up just to be a depth player with a salary cap. So if you guys have any suggestions on what I should do, I think I might go ahead here and, oh god, I don't know who I'm going to scratch because, I mean, Besser and Lehkonen, those are two good snipers that I want to keep on the roster, listed as depth forwards though, so they could play down in the AHL. But again, they're young, and they're the future of our team right now. Virtanen and Gauntz as well. I mean, Gauntz is 23, high bottom 6. Boucher, I don't know exactly how you say it. High top 9, 24, so he's got pretty good potential. I mean, I guess I could send him down because he's listed at the depth forward, and I'd rather him get some more experience than ride the pine. I think that's what I'm going to do, guys. As much as I'd like to play him in the NHL, I don't really see myself playing him, unfortunately. He's not making a ton of money either, so maybe we'll be able to send him down, and we can't... Oh, we'd actually have to call up another depth guy. Burmistrov is not a depth guy. Ryan White is. Biega, actually, do we have any... We don't have any scratched defensemen, do we? Do we? No, we don't. I don't think we do. We have Dorsett and Reed here. They're both scratched, and then I'm going to go ahead in the system and call up Biega just to be a depth defenseman there. So there we go. He is going to go down to the minors and get some playing time there, guys. So I think I have the cap situation and everything all figured out. Let me scratch Dorsett in favor of Gauntz, because I want Gauntz to play. And we have Vermette and Biega now scratched in case something happens, and now Dorsett as well. So Vermette, Biega, Dorsett, a winger, a center, and a defenseman, which is perfect. We are within the salary cap there, guys. I was able to sign Yager, so we may not be an atrocious team. I would like to finish towards the bottom of the NHL. But I also got to make sure that I'm taking on some salary at as well if I do end up trading those guys at the trade deadline. But there we go, guys. That is how it's going to be. Those are the lines. Let's go check out defense because I always neglect the defense here. So we got Vanek, Horvat, Jágr, which should be a pretty good first line. I don't know how they'll play. We've got Bertuzzi, Granlund, and Louis Eriksson. So Louis Eriksson hopefully going to have a pretty solid season and prove us right for giving him $6 million, I guess. Lehkonen, Gagne, and Besser. And then Virtanen, Sutter, and Gaunce there, guys. So I am giving some of the younger guys a chance here. Not as many as I would like because we don't really have a lot of cap tied up elsewhere because I did trade away the Sedins who took up $14 million of the $75 million. So that was a pretty large chunk. Now, defensively, we have Hutton and Tanev, Delzato and Goodbranson, and then Stetcher and Bieksa. Bieksa is playing over Biega. Oh, God, that's going to screw me up all season. Bieksa, I think I just called him up here. He's a top 6 defensive defenseman, 1 year, $4 million. Actually, no, I didn't just call him up. I called up Biega. Stetcher here, you know, there we go. So he's got some potential, 23 medium, top 6, can grow into the 80s. But yeah, boys, I don't think this is going to be a world beater roster. We have, I mean, decent defensemen, decent players on the roster, because we're not going to roster an AHL roster because that's pretty hard to come back from. And the goaltenders are still Jacob Markstrom and Anders Nielsen. And I don't know if you guys saw the picture of Nielsen and Markstrom sitting next to each other, but Nielsen looks huge next to him. And it looks like a super form, like an evolution, like a Pokemon evolution. But there we go, guys. Let's go ahead and go through the preseason here. Just seeing how the team does. Actually, let's go ahead. Screw it. I'm going to simulate right up to October 31st because the lines are the way I want them to be set up. And it does seem like we are going to be a sub-500 team, which is what I'm going for. I'm not trying to be the worst team in the NHL, although that would not be bad to be the worst team in the NHL because we'd have a chance at Rasmus Dahlin. But I don't know just what this team is going to look like just yet because the preseason went by. We were just under. You may need a shake-up. Let's go ahead and demand out of him, and he likes to be demanded of, so that's pretty nice. Oh, right. I forgot to do this. Let's go ahead and set ourselves a captain here, boys. I don't know who they have set as the captain already, but let's go ahead and do it. Sorry that this took a while at the beginning, too, because I just wanted to make sure everything was done right, and it was done realistically for you guys. So we got Horvat, Vanek, and Jágr, so that's not bad. I don't know if Horvat is he ready? Is he ready to be the captain of the Vancouver Canucks yet, guys? Or should I let a guy like Jaromir Jágr, who's been around? You know what? We're going to assign these guys all assistant captains, and I'm okay with that. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and give, I'll give, what's his face? Tanev, the assistant captain. He's been around a little while. Vanek just got signed. Same thing with Jágr, but Jágr's been around. We want one defenseman who's an assistant as well. So we're going to give Tanev the assistant captain, Jágr the assistant, and Horvat the assistant. So maybe Horvat can learn a thing or two from Jágr and Tanev. But there we go. I'm sorry, Thomas Vanek, that I stripped you of your assistant captaincy, but I just don't think he earned it. I think Jágr's been around, and Jágr's just, you know, he's a legend. He's going to show the boys in the locker room just how everything is supposed to be done. But yeah, there we go. Let's go ahead and get into the regular season here, guys. And we do crush the Edmonton Oilers. We beat the Ottawa Senators in overtime. Then we lose to the, I guess, Stanley Cup contender Winnipeg Jets. We are now 3-1 to start the season. So I don't know what to say here about that, guys. It's weird. I don't really expect this to be a roster that's winning a lot. Or maybe I'm just used to seeing this roster the way it is. Stetcher wants to talk. I have to admit I've been underperforming lately. Numbers are black and white. There we go. He did respond favorably to that tone. But we are now 4-1, guys. So 5-2. Okay. Okay, and then we lose in overtime to the Detroit Red Wings, which is fair. We lost to the Sabres. So they want Sutter and White and our 4th for 2 third-round picks. That's tough because it makes it so hard for me to make any kind of cap movement or roster movement because Sutter, I mean, if I could retain his salary, I would love to because I can't be that much under the salary cap. I don't know why they're offering me this deal if I can't retain more than 3 players' salary, guys, and I want to be able to have flexibility moving players up or down. I want to stay realistic, but they're offering me Sutter for 2 thirds. So I have to give up my 4th, maybe this year or next year. I'm not sure. This year's 4th and Ryan White for 2 third-round picks. Now, I want to accept this deal, but I can't go under the cap floor. I just can't do it, guys, because I can't move players up or down that way. I would have to call up Gaunce, and they wouldn't let me do, or not Gaunce. I sent down Boucher, or however you say his name. I sent him down, and I couldn't call him back up. I couldn't call anybody up, which would really, really suck. And I don't want to give a bloated contract to anybody, but let's go ahead and decline that trade, unfortunately. But the team's playing well. 7-2-1 to start. Wait, we got, they want Sutter. Okay, so every team wants Sutter. Let me see if there's somebody instead of this 4th that Winnipeg would be willing to give me, because I'll take their 2nd-round pick and a way overpaid skater. But I just can't, like, Tobias Enstrom here, or even Dmitry Kulikov. Well, they just signed Dmitry Kulikov, so they're not going to want to give him up that easily. But maybe a guy like Tobias Enstrom with that crazy large contract. I know they don't really want to give him up, though, which is the thing. It's the only thing that makes this trade somewhat realistic, though. It's the only way I can stay above the cap floor. And I think, you know what, I think I'm just going to go ahead and give this one a shot with Enstrom, and they rejected the trade. So unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to get anything out of them. They don't really have too many overpaid skaters here with terrible value. I mean, Matthias, but that's not going to get us close enough. They don't want to give him up either. They don't want to give a lot of players up. They want to give up Sorella, which is weird. And they don't want to give up any goalies. So unfortunately, I can't do this deal as much as I'd love to. I can't do this deal because, again, it puts me under the cap floor, which has been a really, you know, shitty thing. And there we go. We're 8-2-1 to start the month there, guys. That is absolutely incredible. Man, I don't know why this team is playing. Jágr is turning back the clock, boys. He is a legend. Still killing it for us. I don't know how to tank in NHL 18. I can go ahead and say that safely right now. But maybe Vanek, Jágr, and Horvat is just too good of a line. I guess Vanek's got 10 goals in 11 games. Are you kidding me? Besser's got 7 points. Eriksson has 7 points in 11 games, so that's a nice season out of Louis Eriksson. Marcus Granlund as well. But you guys did say in the last one when I was doing well that Jaromir Jágr and Thomas Vanek were guys that needed to go if we wanted to tank. And you know what? Let's address our situation at the January 1st, my personal trade deadline, because I don't really want to give them up because, we need salary back, boys, and I don't want to give inflated contract, which is the problem. I put myself in a real tough cap situation by trading away the Sedins, but I think it was really the only thing that was going to help us tank, but apparently it made us one of the contenders in the NHL. Maybe it's a fluke of a month. Maybe we're just playing really well because we're all really happy that the youngins are getting playing time, and Bo Horvat just got injured with a mild concussion, boys, so I will hit best lines, and that's why we keep Vermette up here. And all of a sudden, this team starts to lose. Antoine Vermette now has a mild concussion. Where lines must be edited, so I'll hit best lines. Thomas Vanek has been injured with a neck strain. Boys, the injury bug is hitting hard. Do we have anybody scratched that... no, I can't. I can't call anybody. Can I call somebody up then? A skater, hopefully, because those guys are injured. So I might be able to call somebody up, and I think we'll be okay with the cap. I'll go ahead and call up... right here, Boucher, however you say his name. We'll go ahead and edit the lines, and I think they'll play him over Bieksa or Biega. Best lines here: Louis Eriksson, Granlund, Jágr, Bertschy, Gagne, Besser, Lehkonen, Sutter, Gaunce, Virtanen, Dorsett, Boucher. Scratched is Biega, and that's fine. I mean, it really sucks, though, to have Horvat, Vanek, and Vermette injured. But it is going to help us tank, like I said I wanted to do. As much as I don't want to root for players to get injured, and again, Winnipeg, I cannot accept this offer because it puts me under the cap floor. And the cap floor, you know, I get it. And Kevin Bieksa has been injured with a mild concussion. Boys, holy crap. Vermette is available to play in the team's next game, but I think I'm going to leave it as is. Vermette is now 100% healthy. But I think I'm going to leave him scratched because now we finally got Boucher playing in the NHL. Bo Horvat is available to play in the team's next game. I'm going to go ahead and check that out. Guys, goddamn, these injuries are just so annoying. Good God. Horvat now, Sutter, Dorsett, Vermette, Virtanen, excuse me, Arturi Lehkonen, Brock Besser, That's fine. Who do we have scratched again? Boucher and Gaunce. Okay, no, that is not what I want. Vermette. Go ahead and I'll scratch him for... Can one of these guys take face-offs? And actually, Gaunce can actually take face-offs not too badly. And instead of Dorsett, I'm going to go ahead and play Boucher instead. He does have a player meeting. Sven... Wait, what? Okay. All right, then. He does want to meet with me, and it's kind of nice that I can meet with him here. He wants to prove me right that I called him up at the right moment. Has he done anything? He's a -1 with 1 shot, so that's just fine. All right, boys, we're coming back down to earth here with the injuries. We'll just hit continue because Bieksa and Biega, I think, are pretty much interchangeable at this point. We'll just let them get healthy. Thomas Vanek has returned to the lineup, and now I have to send somebody down. I guess I'll send down... Oh, shoot. I don't know who I should send down. Vermette's on a one-way contract. I don't know if I really want to send him down. Bieksa, Biega, maybe? And then I'll call him up if somebody gets hurt. Okay, so that would result in us being under the cap. Wait a second. Can I not send... What about... Okay, so I can't even send anybody down. The game will not let me send somebody down, which is just fantastic here, guys. I guess the salary cap issue was a larger thing than I thought. I'll just hit auto fix rosters, and we'll see what they did with the rosters. They sent Jake Virtanen down, which I think is okay. I don't know if he... Virtanen, excuse me. God, I always say that name wrong. But yeah, let's go ahead and check out the lines, guys. This is going to be a longer video just because this has been tough on me. So let's hopefully... Can you at least put him in the lineup down here, please? Jake Virtanen. How is he doing in the NHL is my question. He had 2 points in 20 games, 2 goals, and he was a -4. So yeah, I think I'm going to be okay with leaving him down on the AHL roster. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue with the simulation there, guys. Just a tough situation we're in with salary cap and everything. It's really shitty, the fact that you know, we've really got we don't have a lot of options as far as what we can do. Okay, so now this team has fallen back towards 500 now. We are losing some more games than we win, I think. I don't know. We seem to be just beating everybody still. And we are 14-9-3. I don't know where that puts us in the division, but let's go ahead and find out, guys. So let's see here if it would load. We are 3rd in the division and 3 points behind the Oilers for 1st in the division, guys. We might be making a playoff push. I don't know what to say here, guys. I have no clue. Because I can't just trade away guys like Vanek and Yager as much as I'd like to trade those guys away. I mean, Tanev is a guy that I could trade away, but I'd need to take on, like... do I trade him to somebody like the Leafs and take back... Horton's contract? Or yeah, I'll take back Austin Matthews. That's cool. Skaters matching the block. They want to get rid of Lupul. There we go. And I think we might be able to add maybe Kasperi Kapanen in here as well. Or maybe we can go ahead and take their first. Yeah, they don't want to give up their first, but I could take 2 seconds. Actually, you know what? Let me take their second this year. Actually, and a... 2 seconds, or you know what, maybe, let me start, my bad, boys. Let me go ahead and see if I can just take their first next year and Lupul for Tanev, because that would probably go through and that would help with our salary cap situation. And it's the trade accepted. So we have Toronto's first-round pick next year. They did not want to give up this year's first-round pick. And there we go, guys. We are above the cap floor, and we are all set with our... that actually worked out perfectly. Let's go ahead and hit best lines here. Instead of Dorsett here, can we... who is scratched? Vermette, Boucher. I want to play him over Dorsett, and that's fine. Reed Boucher, I believe is his name. You guys are probably screaming at your computer screens right now as I'm saying that name. But yeah, there we go. So now we have Hutton and Goodbranson, Delzato, Bieksa, Biega, Stetcher. Biega wants to meet with me about something. He's not happy I traded away Tanev. I hope you understand. Okay. He does understand. So it's nice to see that. But I think we are in a better position now because we have 2 firsts now next year. And we just might have sealed ourselves into a little bit more of a tank. They wanted Tanev. I took Lupul's contract off their books so they don't have to worry about that anymore. And they gave me a first to do so. So I'll take it. They're first next year. I think that was pretty realistic. I know Lupul's probably not going to play ever again, but I guess I just traded for his rights? I'm trying to spin this in a way that works, but hopefully it's more realistic for you guys, because I know you guys really were displeased when I went a little bit off of the realistic route. And now they want Sutter for a second, Sutter in a fourth, and then we just dominate the Maple Leafs with Christian Tanev. So they want White, a 5th, and a 7th for a 4th and a 5th? I'm inclined to take that offer. I mean, I get an extra 4th and a 5th round pick. I swap 5th round picks with the Flames, and they give me a 4th for my 7th and White. I'm going to accept that trade. I'm just going to go to roster moves. I'll go ahead and just edit the AHL lines real quick, guys. Sorry all this line editing, but there's a lot of shakeup here in year number 1. So let's go ahead and hit best lines down here. Goldobin, Rodin, Virtanen is there as well. Hopefully doing better in the AHL than he was in the NHL. Because he just doesn't seem ready yet for the NHL. But there we go. Brendan Gaunce has a hip pointer, so we'll just hit... that really hurts. Not just a hip pointer, but man, a 3rd and a 4th for Sutter. And I would really like to get rid of his contract. Yes, Brock Besser broke his nose. He's estimated to return on the 22nd. Good God. Injury bug hitting galore, and I can't even simulate 1 or 2 days. Good news is, boys, the simulation engine does seem to be much faster than it was in the previous years. So if you're watching this, the really only stops... Oh my God, please just let me simulate. Good freaking God. Biega, I don't like to complain. I don't really give a shit about what you want, Biega, because you're not an important player for the future. 2-0 loss, okay. A 4-3 loss. Brock Besser is available to play again. We'll play him. Hopefully he won't get injured. San Jose, we lose in overtime. Utica, Bill Sweet, however you say that name. Marcus Granlund has now been injured with a bruised hand. We'll hit best lines there as well. An overtime loss, a 4-1 loss. Versus San Jose, we win. Okay, but you're gonna win games every once in a while. Not every team in the NHL loses every single game. And a 5-2 win. Multiple players on Vancouver are now eligible to be dressed, and we'll hit best lines here, guys. Good God, I am so terribly sorry for the inconvenience that this is causing. Let's go ahead and see Scratched right now. Vermette and then Boucher. We'll play him as well. I'd rather play him over Dorsett anyway. Why the hell? Oh my God, I love how it doesn't even change anymore. He's listed as a depth forward, but he is growing, so we've got some decent players. How is Louis Eriksson doing? You know what? I'll just check out everybo's stats at the end of the month here. We're only 2 games away from it. Whatever, Utica. I don't care. If there's another injury. Oh my God, so many injuries. I might turn the injury slider down, guys, if you don't mind, but we're 17, 15, and 7. So that's not that great of a record. That's not that terrible of a record. So we are in the wild card here, guys, but we are only 3 points out of last place. And let's go ahead and do a recap and see how the boys are performing. And it looks like Yager is turning back the clock he always does it. Jeez, Jesus. 25 points for him, 24 points for Vanek, 24 points for Eriksson, so he's actually having a very good season for what we're accustomed to. Berchi, Horvat also at that 24 point, Gagne at 22, Granlund, Besser's got 14, which is good, Hutton at 13. Okay, Lekkonen's got 11 points. I'm not upset about that. Let's go ahead and check out the goalies. I haven't checked out the goalies all season. Markstrom is 13, 12, and 5, 915 save percentage, and a 2.5 basically goal against average. So that's not terrible, especially for the kind of team that we are. We're getting worse, which is I'm trying to do. So if you guys have any other suggestions of what I can do, please go ahead and let me know. I will always take constructive criticism in the comment section. I try and read every single comment as well. Let's go ahead and check out the entire league. And where are we? We are 17th. We have 41 points, and worst in the league is the Islanders and the Leafs with 29 and 32 points. The Devils at 32. So the Islanders kind of makes a little bit of a sense. The Leafs, I don't think they're going to have that terrible of a season. Vegas is having a very good season, I guess. Minnesota, Columbus, Tampa having terrible season. I guess the Avs and the Hurricanes here. Who's having an abnormally good season? Let's see. Buffalo Sabres, 2nd place in the NHL, 2 points behind Pittsburgh with a game in hand. More regulation and overtime wins and are absolutely dominating the NHL right now. So, yeah, I don't really foresee that happening, being myself a Sabres fan. So let's go ahead and check out goals per game and where do we rank the Vancouver Canucks as far as goals per game. We are way down there, boys. There we are. I think we're like in the bottom 10 of the league as far... Oh, that's goals against per game. So, yeah, we're actually... Shit. We're in the top 10 for goals against per game. But goals for per game... yeah. there we are. We're like 5th worst as goals for per game, but we're in the top 10 here. I would say the top 10 for goals against per game. So apparently our defense and goaltending is doing way better than we would hope. Power play percentage, it's absolutely atrocious, 15%. Penalty killing percentage, really not that bad, 3rd in the NHL. So apparently we do very, very well killing penalties. So I will take it. But there we go, guys. That is the end of this one. Oh, you know what? Before I end it, there might be some players that want to extend their contract. Is there... view contracts. Here we go. We'll see if somebody wants to extend their contract in here with us. I can go ahead and give you guys a glimpse of that. Bo Horvat. Okay, I guess that's... Do I give it to him here? Can I... not here. Okay. Does anybody want... Is this not the screen where I offer contract extensions? That is fine. Let me go ahead and view all the contracts. We've retained 3 salaries totaling $4.8 million. Cap space is... So we're pretty good there. The team cap hit, we're just above the cap floor. So that is great because I was really trying to fix that. Yager. Hold on. Let's go ahead here and see wants extension. Granlund wants an extension. I think I might offer it to him. He wants $5 million for 1 year. Good God. I mean, I guess I could give it to him, but you guys let me know about that. Bieksa also wants a contract extension, and it's much, much less. Stetcher also wants one, but yeah, there we go. So those are the contract extensions. You let me know who you think I should give a contract to and what contract you think I should give out. And again, guys, I'm sorry that I restarted, but you guys just made it loud and clear that the path I was going on was not the right path. So I decided to change, and there we go. So let's go ahead and check out the progress reports, too. I want to see who's doing well, who's actually growing for the team. And it seems like Granlund is, or I guess Granlund is one of the best growers on the team. Oops, I'm pushing the wrong button here. But yeah, that's a pretty good, I mean, he's in balance. Okay, that's not, I mean, those aren't really any categories I care too much about. But Lehkonen here hasn't grown in the important categories, although his defensive category has grown a little bit, so that's pretty nice to see. Berchi, you know, we'll check him out. It's nice to see some growth for these guys that are a little bit older. His skating went up, too, which is great. That's going to help him skate around players and put in some pucks in the back of the net for us. Not a lot for Boucher, and Besser's only had 1 category altered, and that would be his shot blocking. So I'm glad the important categories are the ones changing. But Jordan Subban's having some decent growth. Nobody's really jumped as far as overall, but it's halfway through the season. Demko's seen some growth, which is nice. We definitely want him growing for us, guys. But there you go. That is the end of this one. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry about the past video, because you guys made it, like I keep saying, message received loud and clear. We are going for more realism, guys. Let me know if I did a good job on it, and I will see you in the next one.